Dale Hansen is the sportscaster, sports anchor for WFAA TV in Dallas, former radio color analyst for the Cowboys, and got a chance to see his reaction to the Cowboys signing Greg Hardy. Dale, good morning. If you'll paraphrase what you said about the Cowboys bringing in Greg Hardy for the audience.
Well, I mean, to paraphrase it simply, Dan, I think I'm like the old man on the porch telling Greg Hardy to get off my grass. I just think it's disgusting that the Cowboys have stooped to this level. I was complaining about the argument that so many fans make that what he does off the field doesn't matter as long as he can help them win on the field. And the argument that I was trying to make was simply this. Is there not a line you would not cross? Is there not a crime you would not accept? Is there not a behavior you wouldn't tolerate? And I'm just trying to get somebody to give me an answer to that. It's a hard thing to do, apparently.
Well, we tend to go, well, as long as he's good on the field, we're fine with this, or we don't care what a guy does off the field, or, hey, everybody deserves a second chance. We can almost answer a question for ourselves, and that's really what it comes down to, Dale. I think every fan sort of has to say, am I okay with this? Why am I okay with this? And as you pointed out, you're going to, what are you going to say to your daughter or your wife? When everybody's wearing their pink ribbons and hats and jerseys there, and hey, Greg Hardy's right down there.
I mean, I get it. My wife was telling me that I was too harsh in the commentary last night, and that I had gone too far. And as I basically said to her, I said, well, then Michael Vick is okay with you. Because a lot of people obviously didn't think that what Michael Vick did was that bad. My wife, maybe the biggest dog and animal lover ever, thinks he should be kicked out of the country. And I get the fact that it's kind of this sliding scale. And that is the hard part of it. I don't know how we're going to resolve this, but I guess I just look at the local team. I look at the Dallas Cowboys, and I think a lot of people, not everybody obviously, but a lot of people think this might go too far in this particular environment, following on the heels of the Ray Rice case and so many others. And I just wish the Cowboys would have joined the other 27 or so teams, 28 teams, that weren't interested in Greg Hardy.
Jerry Jones was pretty strong in what he said about Ray Rice. He backed the commissioner's handling of it and talking about domestic violence. What's Jerry had to say about Greg Hardy?
Well, I think this says a great deal. He hasn't said anything yet. If they were so proud of this great signing that they made, where is he? As you well know, Dan, Jerry's not exactly camera shy, but we haven't heard from him yet. I would expect that we will, someday soon. But they didn't even send out a press release announcing this yet. At least they didn't send it to me, which is possible. But as I pointed out, I just think the hypocrisy of this drives me nuts. Is the Cowboys and so many others are saying that it just doesn't matter. But here's Charlotte Anderson Jones, Jerry's daughter, is on the Personal Conduct Policy Committee. What kind of a committee is that? What kind of a policy has she come up with that Greg Hardy is going to receive $10, $11, $12, $13 million this year on the heels of his latest case?
Were the Cowboys negotiating against themselves, Dale? Because everybody seemed to have dropped out, and I know it's incentive-laden and no guaranteed money,
right.
I mean, you're paying Hardy a pretty good penny there.
Well, I think they're paying Hardy a lot of money. I mean, I guess they had to go really high to convince him not to go to Tampa Bay.
Can you imagine if they bring in Adrian Peterson as well?
Yeah, that's been speculated and thought that would happen from the beginning, and a lot of people have already emailed me last night and this morning saying, "Oh my gosh, if you had this to say about Greg Hardy, what are you going to say when they add Adrian Peterson?" And the Adrian Peterson case is another one that's really interesting to me. I don't think, at least from what I've seen and heard, I don't put Adrian Peterson in the same category that I put Greg Hardy and Ray Rice and so many others. I think what he did was disgusting and reprehensible, but I think there's at least an argument to be made that Adrian Peterson was raised that way, that Adrian Peterson does think that is somehow acceptable. At the very least, and I don't want Adrian Peterson on my favorite football team either. If I was the fan involved here, but at the same time, I do think that the cases are different. But it wouldn't surprise me if Adrian Peterson showed up.
But it's all about winning, Dale. That's as much as we want to say, hey, we care about the people on our team and the character and what they do in the community. Don't we just care about what they do on the football field?
It's been that way too long. Yes. The bottom line, to too many people, that's all they care about. I had a guy tell me a couple of years back on one of the other player issues, and I think he was absolutely serious about this. He said, if you take a bus on Sunday morning to the state prison in Huntsville, load them up, bring them to Arlington, win the game, drive them back to Huntsville, and lock them up, I'm completely okay with that. And I'm telling you, Dan, it's scary to me. It's absolutely scary to me that I do think there are a lot of people that, for whatever reason, and I'm not one of them, but I think there are a lot of people who, if you can help my team win,
yep,
I will look the other way. And I just think it's a disgusting attitude to have.
Keep fighting a good fight, Dale.
I'm trying.
Thank you, bud.
Thank you, Dan.
Dale Hansen, WFAA in Dallas.